Good night, Jason. Thank you very much for this interview. It's been a long week for the Dragons fans. What you can tell to the Dragons fans?
Well, first of all, tell them thank you for this week and coming back and supporting the franchise after everything. You know, we had almost 2,000 people here today. Obviously, we didn't, compete the way we wanted to, but I just want to tell them to keep supporting us. I think we are in some of the darkest days we've been in, but we can get out of it. And there's a lot of opportunity still for this franchise. And today, the CEO of the league is here for the first time ever. And we had almost 2,000 spectators. That team that played out there, they practiced together 2 days. New coach. I think there's a lot of good to be had. I think we just have to get back to being the Barcelona Dragons family that we're used to. But I'm grateful more than anything for them for not giving up on us, continuing to support us.
I'm a Dragons fan myself, and I've been reading a lot of comments in social media, and I see some disbelief in some Dragons fans. How this can change, how we can readdress this situation, really.
I think the first thing is what we did this week with getting the right people. From a coaching staff perspective, import perspective, homegrown players perspective, the Barcelona Dragons family has never been, in my opinion, it's never been about fame and grandeur, and it's about passion. It's about love. Whether you look at Barca, whether you look at the Dragons, this city, that's what it represents. So when you don't have people that don't align with that, it doesn't allow us to be who we are. But if you look at the game today, arguably less talent, new coach, but we had 3 turnovers, and we're fighting to the end. I think we got to get people to believe in that again, that we're back on the track of where we need to go. Not trying to experiment with things and give people chances, but no, we know what works. We need a homegrown coach who can speak to the homegrown players, who understands what it means to compete and has passion for this region. I think that's how we fix it, and hopefully today was a piece of that.
I think that is like 21 players left the team. Some of them, they've been in the team for season 1, so veterans. Why did they leave?
I think if you look at the guys, nobody left for one reason. I think everybody left for different reasons. We had some players that left because the coaches left. We had some players left because they didn't like the circumstances. We had some guys that left that I think that just didn't like the losing. And a lot of just copycat behavior as well. Just I see this, I go. The reality is though, the people that have been with this franchise since day one, they've gone through the most stuff. So I think a lot of those guys, speaking to them, they're just tired of having issues and troubles, and they just kind of got exhausted. And it doesn't help when you have a moment like last week where everybody's divided, coaches are dividing players. It doesn't help. So my job now and our job is to try to keep what we have and then get some of those guys back, because I do believe that maybe not all of those guys, but some of those guys do love the Barcelona Dragons and want to be a Barcelona Dragon. But we have to do our job. We have to do our job to make sure this is an environment that they want to be in.
Most of the fans that show up today, they knew that we would lose badly today. We were celebrating first downs, so really, these 2,000 people that were here today, they are true Dragons fans. So there's some sort of fan base to build on. But then it's well known that to run an elf team is not cheap. You need resources. And the fans, and I can tell you, because I read what they tell me, and they tell me personally, they don't see those resources. What's going on, Jason?
The reality of the situation is we bought a team that was already drowning financially. And we have to still service a lot of that before we can build more. Just the reality. And I've told the players that, told other members of the staff that, because the only other option is to cancel it. And then we have no Dragons. But if we're going to have the Dragons right now, financially, we have to still pay for things in the past and also pay for things in the present. It's a challenge. There's no real answer for it. Now, I do know the more we win, the better it can be. The more people we can get to sell tickets, the better it can be. The more merch we can sell, the better. But we're still figuring it out. But it's not just going to drop. You know, it's a complicated business. And whether it's Barca, Espanyol, the Lakers, the Dodgers, everybody goes through hard financial times in sports. It just happens. This is just our moment right now. And eventually when we fix it, those resources will be there and they'll be there abundant.
Do you still believe in this project?
Yeah.
And most importantly, are your partners still believing in this project?
Yes. Yes.
How much?
And this is enough that we played a game today. If we didn't believe, it wouldn't be here this week. After last week, you tell me if somebody would have showed up to work on Monday if they didn't believe after last week. So there's some things that can be talked about, but at some point people got to open their eyes and look. I didn't leave and run to America. I could have. I didn't pack it up and say last week was the last game ever in the history of the Dragons. I could have. So you got to look at it and believe it. And that's where I think people need to give me a chance. I don't think the market's giving me a chance. I think the market is looking for me to fail instead of just looking with their own eyes. Because after last week, with us losing 54-0 at halftime and having all of our imports sitting up here, having our coaches leave, having 21 players leave, if I didn't believe, if Elite Sports Equity didn't believe, we would have boxed everything up on Monday and I would have been on the first thing back to America.
I give you that, and it's something that I've been talking to some people, that for you as an American, the easiest way out is just to pack up and go back home. And for me, it's quite important that you keep showing up, and that I want to believe that there's a reason behind that. What we can expect for 2025 season? It's going to be at 2000.
Six partidos, seis. But I think this off season we have more time, right? We don't have to go out and figure out equipment. We don't have to go out and figure out stadium stuff. We don't have to go out and figure out what all the stuff we have to do. So that means that we can put more time into ticket sales, right? Making sure the fan experience is good. Making sure we have entertainment. We had the halftime show today. It was great. How can we have more of those every game? Power party. How can we have more of those every game? That's more on the commercial side, but on the field, I think you'll see a much more local team as far as coaching staff, voice, and tone. And again, we're going to always see good imports. I mean, we have a good import pipeline. We have to get better ones, I think, in my opinion, next year. But now that people have seen us here and they know we're here, the phone is ringing. So I would expect it to be more competitive next year for sure. And more crowds like this consistently.
Last question, but it's not going to be an easy one.
Oh, man.
Okay? Sorry. It goes like it goes. Okay. You told me, now we are learning, but some people is saying you had 2023 season also to learn some stuff. It's like some people, and I can tell you,
Sure.
I'm just the middleman telling you what people think. Okay, I'm the middleman, and and as a middleman, I'm going to transfer all this information to you. And this information is: some people say, sorry, I'm going to use a very stupid language. Sorry, it's not personal. What the fuck we were doing in 2023?
We weren't running the team. Bart was. Call Bart. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jason.